Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be like a side-by-side this versus that type video. I'm going to be battling the Anastasia Subculture palette with the Bad Habit Retro Love. These are the looks I created. Which side do you think is which before we get into it? You'll have to wait till the end to see, but these are the eye looks I came up with. Let me know down below in the comments which one you think is which before actually watching the video. I'm curious to see how many of you get it right, just based on the first look. So Anastasia has a bunch of palettes, of course. I'm a big fan of them, and this one right here is like more of a step outside of like just a regular neutrals palette. And then Bad Habit is a brand that they sell on Hush.com. I did a Hush video like a while back where they sent me like a big box of PR, and I just kind of opened up the palettes with you guys, and this was one of them, and I haven't really had the chance to sit down and kind of compare the two, so I thought I would just do that on camera today with you guys. I'm gonna be creating one eye look with one palette and the other eye look with the other, so it's pretty like self-explanatory, if that makes sense. Before we get into the video though, I do want to do some swatches to show you guys the side-by-side of each palette, and then we will go into the tutorial so you guys can actually see the application. So I'm just gonna like swatch each one side by side. So I'm gonna start off with the shade Cube. So there's Cube. I don't know if you guys can really see it. It's pretty light. And then here is the dupe in the Hush palette. That's a pretty light shade, so you can't really see it. It's more of a highlight. Then we have the shade Dawn. It's a matte nude. There's that right there. Here is the shade Peace. It's a bit lighter in tone. Next we have Destiny. It's like a mossy green color. And then we have Hippie. So you can kind of see the difference in those two as well. Next we have the shimmer shade Adorn. You can see it right there. It's just like a bronzy shade. And we have its dupe, Revolution. These ones are actually pretty similar. They both have that duochrome to them. Next we have All Star, which is like a burgundy matte. It's very deep plum shade. And its dupe is Rock and Roll. These two are pretty similar. Rock and Roll is not as pigmented though. Then we have Mercury and Pop. Then we have Axis. It's like a blue-green shade. And Free Love. We have Roxy. It's like a coral. And its dupe is Flower Power. Next we have Electric. It's a shimmery green shade. It's really, really pretty actually. You can see that duochrome. Its dupe is Icon. Those two are actually pretty similar. So then we have Fudge. And there's Fudge. It's a deep chocolate brown. And its dupe is Youth. Little bit different in tone there, as you can see. Next is New Wave. It's like a orange yellow shade. And then we have Fab. Next we have Untamed. Then we have Maud. Next is Edge. And its dupe is Rebel. And the last shade is Rowdy. It's like a deep purple. And then we have Nostalgia in the Retro Love. So a bit of a color difference there. So as you can see, overall, the main difference is pigmentation between the two shades, but I just wanted to show you guys a quick comparison between all the shades so you have an idea that they are dupes, but they're not identical. So now let's just get on to the actual demo and tutorial where I try each palette side by side. Alright, so I've already done like my face makeup, my lips, my eyebrows, everything like that, because I just wanted to jump right into the eye look so we can just get started. I'm going to use the Retro Love on this side and then the Subculture on this side right here, and we're going to try to make the same eye look. Alright, so I just have my brushes here in front of me that we're going to use for this palette, and I do have like multiple clean brushes so that we're not like dipping back and forth through anything. So I'm going to start with the Subculture. And we are going to just dip into the shade New Wave. It's like this orange pink shade. As you can see, a lot of fallout into the pan. That's not something that bothers me. I know when this palette came out, there was a lot of controversy around the fallout and everything like that. It doesn't bother me. Honestly, I just tap off my brush before. So we're going to take that right into the crease. Let's see. So a little bit patchy at first, but we can work with it. I think I want to do like a very green look today, but have the crease be pretty warm. So that shade over here is Fab, right here. And that one has quite a bit of kickback too. This one is not as warm. Try to pick up more. So the formula is definitely different, as you can see. This one is a little more powdery, so it kind of fluffed away a little bit. Here I'm going to take the shade Rock and Roll from the Retro Love. I'm going to start building this on the outer corner and fluffing it into the crease. Because again, I kind of want that warm crease look. And then same in this palette, I'm going to take, I guess, the same shade as All Star. Fluff that too into the crease. Okay, I think I want to incorporate some green now. So I think I'm going to take the shade Destiny just to start off with a light green. Making sure I'm tapping off my brush, of course, because these are pretty powdery. And I'm just going to go from that outer to inner corner, and we're really going to blend this shade. Oh, that's super pigmented. So I'm really making sure that we're blending that away and keeping it in the crease. I'm not trying to fluff this up too much. Keeping it right in that crease. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other palette. So I'm going to take the shade Hippie. It's this green shade. I'm going to do the same. Plop it. So like I can already tell these shadows aren't as pigmented. So you have to pick up a little more with them. But that might be actually good for some of you, like depending on what you prefer, of course. Just because like some people are intimidated by like the dark shades in this subculture. And sometimes when you put them right down initially, like it's kind of scary because they're hard to blend a little bit. You do have to have patience and work with them. So that might be something you guys like, but I'm just dipping back in here because it's not as pigmented. So I have to build this one a little more. If you don't want to spend as much time blending, maybe this is something you'll like. So the tone is a little bit different. Can you guys see that difference there? Like it's a little, it's more of a like neutral, like here it's more of a olivey, and this one's more gray in this subculture. Alright, I'm gonna start picking up some of those darker green shades. So going into subculture, I'm gonna be taking Untamed on like more of a flat brush. And we're gonna use this on the outer corner and just pat it in. Like so. Just pat away. Kind of wing it out. It's a really nice green. Like I don't really use greens that much. So it's kind of fun for me to play around with them once in a while. And I'm also going to take this brush and add it to the inner corner. I think I want to do a halo eye today. I need a smaller brush. These are definitely very pigmented eyeshadows. And then just with a little fluffy, I'm just going to lightly buff this into that other green shade, the Destiny one we put down before, like that mossy green. I can see how people would get frustrated with this palette just because it has that like rougher consistency to it, so it's a little harder to blend. But I feel like if you put the time and you really like sit there and work at your blending and just, you know, kind of play with it, I feel like it could work, because I've been using this palette for a while and I honestly like it. It is a little harder to work with in comparison to the other Anastasia palettes, but it's not impossible and it's not a bad palette. I just think since those shades are such dark greens, you have to have a bit of patience with it. Alright, so then I'm going to go into Retro Love and we're going to take the shade Mauve. Tap it off. These have a very soft consistency to them as well, like in the Retro Love. As you can tell, like it's not as pigmented as when I first put this one down. So that's the big difference I'm noticing. I feel like Retro Love is just a little softer, which makes it easier to blend, but then they're not as pigmented either. So it's just a different formula, but the shades are very similar and I feel like I'll just be able to get a very similar look. I'm gonna now dip into Axis. It's like a darker green. It has more like of a blue tone to it. And we're just gonna add this just right on top, just to make it pop. It's less of like a forest green and more like of a blue green. So I feel like it's just gonna make it pop more. A little more intense. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other eye with Free Love. I'm gonna go back into the initial shade we were using. So I'm gonna take Fab from Retro Love. I'm gonna use this to really buff everything out, so just using a slight motion, very slight, because I don't want this to get messy. Just kind of airing this out, and then I'm gonna dip into Flower Power 2 to get that pink, like pink orange tone in there. Going back into New Wave for the other eye. You can definitely tell like a color difference. They are two different looks. Like this side has more of that yellow, whereas this side's kind of looking a little brown, so I'm gonna try to add some more. From here, we're gonna add something to the halo part, so I'm just gonna grab some concealer real quick. Just gonna use this Makeup Revolution one just to set the base for the halo eye. Just gonna take a little flat brush, and I'm just gonna add the concealer right to the middle, not being very like particular with how I place it. We're just placing it so that we have something for the shimmer to adhere to, and a nice light base so that the shimmer really pops. This is always my trick with halo eyes. Alright, so we have that concealer down, and I'm gonna be using the shade Icon in Retro Love with my finger to start off with. It's a very soft shade, but you can see like that really pretty like iridescence it has, and I'm just gonna be placing this right on top. That concealer. Oh my god, that shade is gorgeous. Now we're gonna go into Electric from Subculture. So the one in Subculture is a little more of like a sheen. It's not as green. So again, just that difference in shade. I think I prefer this green actually. Like it's more metallic. And then we're going to take a little flat brush and just make it more detailed. So going into Electric. And just smooth out those edges. kind of blend it into the mattes. And same in here, I'm going to take Icon, a little brush. We're going to take Mauve and just tap that right along those edges just to blend. Just to blend that green. And then same thing with Subculture, taking Untamed. Just tapping. So let's just finish off with the lower lash line now. Alright, so I'm just going to start with the Anastasia palette. So I'm going to take the shade New Wave, which we were using in our crease, and just blow this out right on that lower lash line and connect it to the top by winging it. I love that bright color down there. It's so pretty. Then we're going to take the shade Destiny. A little bit will go a long way with this, so keeping it really close to the lower lash line since I don't want green all under my eye. And then going into Untamed, very little as well. And keeping this closer to, like the yellow we really spread out. Whereas the green I want to keep in there, if that makes sense. And then with this part we just have to blend, blend, blend until we're happy with it. And then I'm going to take New Wave again, and I'm going to use New Wave to actually blend this all out. For the other, I'm just going to grab a new pencil brush. We're going to go into Fab. Just repeat the same thing on this side, but with the colors from the other palette. So you can see that yellow is far less intense in this palette, so I do have to dip in a few times to get the color I want. Like it's just a different color with this yellow. But I'm glad I used it because then you guys could see it. And then I'm going to take Hippie. Again, concentrate this closer. And then Mob. I'm going to take Mob and connect it to the upper outer corner. And then I'm going to highlight the brow bone. So on this side I'm going to use the shade Dawn and just graze that over my brow bone. And then on the other side I'm going to use Peace. Alright, and then for the inner corner, I'm going to use Cube. It's like a white shade, but it has like an iridescent, like a pink duochrome to it. It's really pretty actually. And I'm just going to plop this on the inner corner of my eye. It's really, really pretty, and it's very different from the rest of the eye look, so I think it's nice. I'm going to kind of connect that to the inner, to the lower lash line and upper lash line. Ooh, I like that pop there. I'm going to do the same with Psychedelic on the other side. I'm going to go pop on some lashes, and then we can talk about the final kind of statement about these palettes. I just popped on some lashes, and these are the Ardell Foam Mink 811 lashes. I think they're really pretty actually, and I like how they kind of pair with halo eyes. I kind of want to do something a little crazy, but I think I want to take that highlight shade I used on my inner corner. So I'm going to take it right here and use it kind of on my face. I already have highlighter on, but I kind of want to see this on top. Ooh. Just adds like a little bit of a pink vibe to it, which I kind of like. Let's try the Subculture. So I'm going to go into Cube. That's pretty. So this is the Subculture side. and this is the retro love side. You can definitely see some differences, of course. I feel like if I went out, no one would like pay attention that much to notice a difference, but I definitely can see it. The yellow is not as intense, so definitely like between the two palettes, Subculture is a lot more pigmented. These shades in here are a little softer. These ones are very soft too, like they both give that kickback. I didn't get a lot of fallout on my face, so that was good. I topped off my brushes beforehand, so I think that helped for sure. The blendability of both was okay. I think Retro Love was a little easier to blend because the shades weren't as pigmented. I think the Retro Love palette is a good option, especially if you're not using color that often and you know you're just going to use it a few times for like specific looks. I think this is good because it's very inexpensive. You'll get to play around with these types of colors, but you don't have to spend a lot to do it, if that makes sense. If you're really into color and you use it a lot and you feel like you're very comfortable with these more difficult to blend eyeshadow colors just based on the color they are, then I think the Subculture is a good option too. I really like it. I'm definitely someone who likes to play around with colors, so I enjoy it. So it's definitely a nice palette if you're into neutrals but you want to venture out a little bit. This is a great option. So they're both good options. Take each of my reviews for both of them with a grain of salt. It does depend on what you like, but I hope this video is helpful so you guys can kind of see the difference between them and kind of pick which one you like or need based on my opinions. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this type of video. I've never done it before, but I had fun doing it just to kind of see the comparison. I do have other dupes in my collection, so if you guys want to see more videos like this, I'd be happy to do them. Just comment down below what you'd like to see and I definitely get to it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.